next question is one where people were able to actually write answers, and that was, how has stress impacted you as a college student? And we got 111 responses. So I went ahead and tally marked like the most popular responses and kind of like got a total for each of those. So the number one thing that stress impacts is people's sleep. We had 66 people say that sleep was impacted. And then following that was eating habits, which had 17 responses. We did an episode on eating habits, so we kind of went more into that. And then relationships and social life was at 11, mental health at 32, change in daily routine and hobbies at 9, procrastination at 5, schoolwork and grades at 5, physical health at 6, and then work at 2. So which of these things do you guys feel like stress has impacted for you personally?
Oh, definitely sleep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Same boat, 100% sleep.
I can agree with all of the students who said sleep, so.
Yeah, I feel like for me, definitely the most thing that stress impacted was my social life. Like last semester, oh my god, I felt like I couldn't see anybody. There was a solid month where I did not hang out with people because I was just like constantly doing schoolwork, and it was so stressful that I literally had a mental breakdown in public one day. Like it was that bad. So.
Well, I looked at a pathogenic sleep like reactivity study that was done. And it like really relies on the type of sleeper you are, like if you're like a light sleeper or like a deep sleeper, and then also how much stress you have. But usually like high levels of stress with like light sleeping leads to like the worst sleep of your life. But if you're a heavier sleeper, you can kind of handle the stress a little bit more during sleep. But regardless of that, cortisol kind of like affects, I can't even really pronounce it, but it's your HPA system. And it just really messes with that sleep pattern that people have.
Yeah, and what I found, like, while looking into this was that obviously, like, the more stressed you are, the less sleep you get. And then the less sleep you get, the more stressed you become because you're like, I didn't get sleep, my body's tired.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that physical stress, and then that also mental stress that you get, basically.
Yeah, did you even know that it also, like, the stress itself can lead to genetic things like insomnia and just, like, effects on your sleep system in general?
Yeah, like in one of my other classes, we did a whole section on sleep and how like the literal physical and mental effects of getting less sleep. Like people our age should be getting like over 7 hours of sleep, and so it's not good. Okay, and then another short response question that we asked is, what do you do to relieve stress? We only got 93 responses for this one. So it looks like the most popular answer was exercise. There's 26 responses for that. And then we had people who said that they sleep to help their stress. And then we had listen to music or play an instrument, watch TV, use substances, make art, talk to or see friends, family, significant other, whoever, eat food, play games and video games, meditation, and reading. So is there anything specific that you guys do to help relieve your stress?
For me specifically, like 100% the exercise and then playing instruments. I know from like personal experience, when you exercise, it releases like endorphins into your body and naturally will just make you feel better overall. And then just playing an instrument, I don't really know anything behind that. I just like to pick up the guitar and then just play something, even if it's something that I already know. And it definitely calms me down for sure.
Yeah, it probably definitely distracts your mind because you're really like focused when you're playing an instrument.
It becomes like one stream of thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I definitely exercise. I go to the gym with my significant other, and during that whole time, I'm never thinking about anything other than, like, working out, and, because, like, your mind is so busy, like, just working out, and it just relieves all of the stress afterwards, too, because then your mind is, like, more focused and ready to go again.
Yeah. Personally, I have a comfort show that I like to watch. Like, sometimes I'll watch, like, Friends or, like, The Office or something. Just, like, something that I'm very familiar with. I just like to, like, rewatch episodes and stuff.
Yeah, I would say for me, definitely exercise. I feel like when I go into a workout, I may be, like, kind of, like, not mentally there, but then by the end of my workout, I even forgot that I wasn't really, like, feeling well mentally, so it definitely clears my mind, and it, especially because I like to listen to podcasts while I work out, too, so
Good for you.
I like,
I, like, can barely listen to music, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I can't do it, I can't go on.
Well, I put on, like, a funny podcast, so I'll be, like, literally mid-workout just, like, laughing my ass off. I'm like, okay, I need to stop.
Fair enough.
And then other than that, I like to make art. Like, I make bracelets. I started getting into crocheting recently.
Crocheting is
Oh,
fun.
that's cool.
Oh my god, it was so, like...
It's so relaxing, too. Like, well, once you get the hang of it.
Yeah, exactly. No,
it's-
I was, like, on the verge of tears when I first started.
Tears
I was like, I
when
can't
it
get
working.
this.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, you have to start with, like, the big hook.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, we'll stop talking.
You're good. Okay, and then the last question is, how familiar are you with campus resources available for student stress management? And we also did an episode on campus resources, so we won't go too much into this, but basically, a lot of people were not familiar with the campus resources. That was like our top response, and that was 26 people responding that way. And then we had somewhat familiar at 6, and then familiar at 3. And then I kind of picked apart the resources that people said the most. So for example, counseling center, 19 people knew about the counseling center. And then the OSA office, 7 people knew about that. And then the PASS office, 5 people knew about that. So
Yeah, so it seems like people need to be more familiar with the resources that they have access to.
right.
And I think that's a lot has to do with the school and their due diligence on like social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, for example, I didn't even know that your career existed until you told me about it. But it is new though, is it not?
Yeah, it's new.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like there can definitely be more promotion regarding some of these like offices and centers, because I feel like the counseling center is very like well known, but I
Yeah.
personally just don't know too much about it. I just know that it's there. So
I did want to add how we got our results. So we posted these on our Snapchat stories that are associated with Plymouth State University that has roughly about 500 of the students already in it for my graduation year alone, so for 2026. But we did post them across the PSU stories so that we could have all students from the campus respond to our survey.